Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fan Fiction Fridays, where I bring you the best of the worst on the internet. Today's special guest is Bella Gets Drunk, and no, I'm not kidding, by Angel Dust 246. Hey, Bella, do you want a drink of this? Mike asked me while holding a cup in his hand. What is it? I asked him curiously. She really doesn't like to use punctuation, does she? It's cranberry juice with a bit of vodka, he said proudly. No, Mike, I said, very alarmed. Yeah, I can really tell you're alarmed there. Oh, come on, Bella, it's a party and no one will find out, he said beggingly. Yeah, because this is before the birth of social networking sites. And I'm sorry, but what the hell is beggingly? Is that even a word? And furthermore, is it spelled right? Fine, just one and that's it, I said sternly. Wow, way to put up a fight there. As soon as he handed me the drink, I could smell the horrible vodka. Logic 101. Vodka doesn't smell. Ew, I said after I took my first sip. I heard Mike laughing and said, You should have seen your face, Bella. Hadoosh. I shook my head and said, Shut up, Mike. I'm sorry, Bella. Go and take another sip. This time it won't be as bad, I promise. I hesitantly took another sip and was surprised that Mike was right. It wasn't as bad as the first. You're right, I said, surprised. Mike nodded and said, Told you so. After I was done with my drink, Mike gave me another one which was better than the first one. Before I knew it, I was on my third drink and I was starting to get dizzy. Wow, this is some strong stuff, I said to Mike with my words stuttering a little. Mike nodded and said, Yeah, it is. I looked at the clock and saw that it was almost 9 o'clock already. Wow, that's so terribly late. Sorry, guys, I gotta go home, I said as I tried getting up. Mike looked sad and said, Oh, come on, Bella, just one more drink and that's it. By the way, how the hell are they getting all this alcohol? I mean, I know teens get their hands on some illegal stuff now and again, but isn't anyone bothering to card these kids? I sighed and said, Fine, one more. The fourth drink was definitely the strongest, and I knew I was getting even more drunk than I was, so I decided not to finish this one. I was having trouble keeping my balance as I was walking to my truck, but I felt safer once I was in the driver's seat. Oh, please tell me she dies in an accident. I couldn't be sure if I was driving on the right lane or not because my vision is all blurry. Okay. Past tense or present tense? Please pick one. Thankfully, Edward and his family were on a hunting trip this weekend, but I knew Alice saw me getting drunk and Edward will be giving me a huge lecture on how dangerous it is once he gets back. Before I knew it, I heard a loud honking noise. I immediately hurried to turn to the other side. Wait, what? I immediately hurried to turn to the other side. I immediately hurried to turn to the other... What?
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Thankfully, I was able to get into the other lane before the truck could hit me. Oh, thank God, I said to myself, relieved. Unfortunately, the relief didn't last long because the next thing I knew, I saw a cop car behind me flashing red and blue lights. So let me get this straight. This cop is going to pull over Bella, but he's not going to pull over the douchebag that was doing 90 in a 50-mile-an-hour zone. Seattle's finest at their best. I immediately pulled to a stop on the side of the road. I rolled down my window as soon as the officer came. The officer came. The officer coughed and said, Ma'am, have you been drinking tonight? Wait, why did he cough? What, is he sick? And on an unrelated note, what the hell is a ma'am? I mean, I've heard of ma'am before, but What is it, like ham and spam combined or something? Mammy! Mammy! Okay, I'll stop now. I knew I couldn't lie my way out, so I decided to tell the truth. I nodded and said, "Yes, I have, sir. I was just on my way home from a party, but I'm not that drunk." Smooth. He studied me very carefully and then said, "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the vehicle." I did as he said and got out of my truck, and of course I stumbled on my way out. "Ma'am, can you please walk in a straight line for me?" he asked coldly. I groaned. Even when I'm not drunk, I'll still end up falling. You know, punctuation really isn't that difficult. All you gotta do is put like I don't know, a comma or a quotation mark. But that's just me. I did exactly as he said, and of course, I failed miserably. He wrote something on his notepad, and then I saw him taking out an object from his belt. You mean like a breathalyzer? He turned to me and said, "Ma'am, can you please breathe into this?" You mean breathe into the breathalyzer? As soon as I breathed into the object, the officer took it and studied it for a few moments. I couldn't help but be nervous because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Well, let's see, you got pulled over for being drunk and now you're about to fail a breathalyzer test. What do you think's gonna happen? The officer looked up to me and said, "Ma'am, your alcohol concentration is 0.20%. I'm afraid I'm going to have to arrest you." Great, I thought sarcastically, the end to a perfect night. Oh God, commas are your friends! After the officer read my Miranda rights, he cuffed me and put me in the back of the police car. He took me to the police station in Seattle and asked for my name and age. He then proceeded to take my mugshot and my fingerprints as well. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap this up. Esme and Alice bail her out, Edward gives her a stern talking to for all of 5 minutes, and Emmett squeals like a girl. I'm not joking. Now, why was this fanfic written, you ask? I have no idea. It's listed under drama, but it's about as dramatic as a snail race. When I first saw the title, I half expected it to be a poorly contrived lemon, but it isn't even that. It's plotless, boring, and above all, pointless. It remains now as nothing more than a virtual fart wasting away in the bowels of fanfiction.net. If you want to read all 2¼ pages of this tripe, I have it listed below. But for now, this has been Fanfiction Fridays. Good night, and good luck regaining brain cells. If you have a fanfiction that you would like to see featured, please send me a link in a private message. Who knows? It might appear on the next show.